Now then, this is getting exciting. Lily Melmoth is going to join us. She's the Scotland Engagement Lead for the Government Actuaries Department. Ooh. Okay, you're going to help us to get the public sector managing its climate risks more effectively. Come and talk to us. Lily, all yours.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I think that's a very unusual response to anyone hearing the word actuary. But it's been very interesting for me hearing about all the various technology innovations that are currently being deployed. But I'm going to talk about a slightly different method and tool for achieving net zero, and that is through the Government Actuaries Department. So GAD are part of the public sector and primarily consist of actuarial consultants. So that means that we use our consultancy expertise to help a wide range of government departments, local authorities, local councils, so literally anyone across the public sector, to manage financial risks, identify what kind of financial problems you face. And we help manage financial risks through innovation, so through applying actuarial risk management, data science, financial modelling, to make sense of uncertainty and the unknown, especially across longer time horizons. So within the climate space, our work can range from one day designing climate financial disclosures and reporting, which involves setting governance, strategy, risk management and various targets and metrics, to the next day looking at investment strategy, funding for nuclear decommissioning, and financial disaster risk financing. So I'll just give you a brief glimpse into the various types of work that we do to help different departments manage climate risks and achieve net zero. And to ensure that net zero initiatives are successful and effective, you'd first need to understand the universe of risks and opportunities that you're faced with. So that's why a lot of our work within climate focuses on helping departments understand the bigger picture, plan ahead in order to take action and manage over the longer term. So we perform something called climate scenario analysis, to explore an organisation's exposure to climate risk. So that's looking at things like what is the impact on your organisation from physical risks like sea level rising, fire, heat waves, and risks arising from the transition to net zero and the policies that come with it. For example, carbon taxes and replacing your bus fleet with greener vehicles. Now, scenario analysis is very helpful because it helps you transform something that is quite high level and quite broad, like 1.5 degrees or 1 degree targets, into more concrete impacts that you can compare and you can factor into business planning. For example, what is the impact on revenue and costs, on wider economic GDP, on population demographics like mortality? So we currently perform climate scenario analysis for a transport organisation, but we have done this sort of work in the past with different types of departments, and it is applicable more widely, so to environmental departments, to pension schemes, insurance and investments, just to name a few. And for certain scenarios, we can also assess the likelihood of them occurring. And this helps make effective decisions and shape better policies. Because if we know the likelihood of a worst case event is too remote, for example, then your risk appetite may mean that that is not something you have to worry about. However, if we're talking about an event that occurs, say, once in every 200 years, then that is something that you may want to think about how to tackle. So if we think about extreme weather events as an example, floods can cause very, very costly damage to property, to people, cause travel interruptions where you need to find alternative transport. So what we've done in this instance is we've used our network across government to identify useful data, and then we've modelled that data to assess how likely floods are to occur in specific geographical areas. And this allows us to identify areas to prioritise, and it gives us, one, the chance to take preventative measures like flood resilience investments, and two, where it is not possible to mitigate those risks, we can establish the optimum way to finance losses in advance. And I should say, while we primarily tend to focus on identifying financial consequences to events, like the cost of loss arising from flooding, there are, of course, other consequences like logistical needs that can also arise and can also be informed by this type of risk analysis. We can then model options to mitigate losses under these types of adverse events and assess how cost-effective those mitigation options are. For example, we built a tool to compare financial responses to disasters resulting from hurricanes or floods. And this tool can compare the use of budgetary mechanisms versus the use of risk transfer products to mitigate large losses. And I have talked quite a bit about risks, which we love doing as actuaries, but of course with net zero comes a lot of opportunity. And I'm just going to briefly touch upon three types of opportunities today. The first is something we've heard quite a bit about today, which is decarbonisation and clean energy. So the work that we have done has helped target the most effective deployment of decarbonisation. So this is taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture. And in this project example, we have identified which school buildings across the country would actually benefit the most from having old boilers replaced. Within that, we've also assessed the potential carbon savings of installing more climate-friendly heat pumps. And while that example is for schools particularly, they could, of course, apply to vehicles, to infrastructure and beyond. The second one is an area that really does drive the economy, and that is investments. So here, we've helped organisations understand the climate risk impact on their investments. We've created investment policies for them and have helped them understand how to balance net zero opportunities with the duty that some organisations, like pension schemes, have to generate maximum returns. And the third area of opportunity I'm going to leave you with is insurance. So among the solutions available to mitigate the costs of climate risk, there is insurance against flooding, against building damage, business interruption, and so on. The problem is that commercial insurance can be very costly. And what we've done in the past is we have helped set up a government-backed insurance scheme that, because of its cheaper pricing compared to the commercial sector, has saved over £1 billion of taxpayers' money to date and counting. Is that some applause in the background? So, net zero, it does have many complex risks and opportunities, but we are well placed to help you navigate those. We can help you plan ahead and identify actions that can be taken now to mitigate financial risks before they hit your balance sheets and budgets, and help with ongoing management and spotting opportunities. So one of the key reasons that we're here today is we're very keen to hear about the work that you're doing and the projects that you've got coming up so that we can gain an understanding of how it is that we can help you achieve those. So for anyone who's joining remotely, please do get in touch via the emails I think will be shared after the event. Yep. And then myself and my colleague Eva are here today, so do come and chat to us over lunch. It will be great to hear from you and see how we can make your lives easier. Thank you very much.
It's funny, they say that heroes don't necessarily wear capes and pants on the outside, and you're right. You should get a round of applause for saving £1 billion of taxpayers' money. Well done. Good effort. Thank you very much. Can we have some more, please?